say Amazon, what comes to mind? Probably shopping, right? Online shopping. But what about online gaming? For those who don't know, Amazon has a gaming studio, all right? And this studio is basically the one that developed, published the MMORPG that we known to love and to hate, named New World. New World, new bugs. Does that ring a bell? Aside from any other MMORPG WoW killer that has been released for the past 30 years, New World, accompanied with a lot of cash from Amazon, has actually stand the test of time. And I have to say that I was actually excited for this game, okay? The way it looked, the soundtrack, the sound effects, the art, and the timing in which the MMO took place. Everything about this MMO I loved. And I can say with certainty that myself, personally, I have never missed a single beta released when it comes to this game. I was there since day one, okay? I was there in the trenches. I was testing everything. I did not miss a single one beta. And that to me, I've never done that with any other game aside from New World. And it was by far one of the best gaming experiences that I have been a part of, you know, aside from World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? I'm a WoW Andy. But anyway, the point is that since I've been there from day one, this gives me a little bit of insight, right? And a little bit of like an opportunity to sort of like zoom out and watch how the game looks now and compare it, you know, in a way more accurate manner to the way that the game came out in 2021. But first, let's talk about the beginning. The game was a complete disaster, okay? There's no way that a studio with infinite money glitch could do such a bad job, right? And at the end of the day, this is what players remember, okay? Players like me, for example, players that actually played the game from the beginning of the game until now. They see that the game has come a long way, and it just makes everybody salty, and I can understand their feelings because I was there. It was rough. It was bug after bug after bug after bug. Let me break it down to you guys. When I was on the beta, I don't know why I just didn't experience as many bugs as when the game was released, which to me is kind of crazy, okay? Because I played every beta. I invested a lot of time in this game, and I remember exactly that on day one I started experiencing bugs, from me appearing naked for some reason when I log into the game, to items shape shifting in front of me, to action houses not working, to abilities not really showing the real numbers on the screen. It was clear that this game was broken from the inside out. This game was actually so incomplete and so bad at the beginning that in a span of about 2 months, it lost nearly almost its player base. Okay, and from there on, it was just a race against time in which everyone was waiting for the game to just go ahead and collapse. Luckily, the game developers didn't give up on the game. I mean, again, it's Amazon, guys. They seem to be turning it around. But for example, if we actually go to the graphs, if we go back to 2021 when it got released, it almost had 1 million players, okay, for about 2 months. After that, it was all the same. I was there. There was no quest lines. There was nothing that you could do aside from like chopping wood. That's all you had that was actually ironed out and it worked properly. I do remember there was like chess runs, right? Which is kind of unique. It feels like the world is alive and we all part of a big community. But aside from that, there was nothing to do. All you did from level 1, I'm not even kidding, from level 1 till 60 was loot chests. The main content of the game was looting chests, okay? Also, one thing that people seem to probably forget is that open world PvP was fun, okay? Open world PvP was amazing for the next 2 months, but then you had mechanics integrated in the game that ruined it for everybody, like staggering, okay? In New World now, that is only a couple of abilities, but back then, the auto attacks would actually stagger you. If you will get like pretty much trapped in a corner and everyone would just like spam auto attacks, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You'll be like, You'll be doing this. Is that funny? No, it wasn't fun at all. Like, basically, mistakes like that made the player base just leave. Aside from, like, that every time they would patch something, they would break a dozen other things. I do remember that someone was able to, like, post images in the chat, and you'll be just chilling, you know, and all of a sudden you will see a big sausage. Like, I'm not even kidding, a big sausage on the screen, all right? Just because, you know, they fixed the action house, but now you can post sausages on the screen. I remember one time, or actually not even once, I remember like 3 or 4 times, the action house didn't work. They had to send out a message telling everyone not to use the action house because somehow something in there was broken and you couldn't buy anything. The economy stopped for like 4 different times. Little things, like for example, loading screens. The loading screens look like ass. Like it looks like it was like a screenshot, like a placeholder, right? There was no cinematics, right? So now you get cinematics, and you know, they sort of like explain to you, like, you know, how everything intertwines together. Like they talk about corrupted now, and how now they came to be, and why are they here, and they talk about angry earth, and they give you this nice like cinematics, like 10 out of 10 cinematics with like 10 out of 10 voice acting. You know, back in the day, none of that stuff. None of it. You see like those like blue little papers like chopped off in the ground. Well, you just loot them and just run away. Now, you know, I was actually questing, you know, I got a character from level 1 to like level 62 at the moment, and some of them have cinematics. Some of them you grab them and go, and then it gives you sort of like an animated cinematic explanation of what was going on. So like me, without even having to do anything, I'm understanding the story, right? Back in the day, none of that stuff. None of it. Weapons didn't work properly, right? So like you would have like phantom damage. Like you would fight someone, and all you see is your health just going down like rapidly, and you couldn't even explain why. Phantom damage. There was numerous amount of times where you get stuck on something. You would just run around and you would get stuck inside a tree and you couldn't get out. You had to leave the game. Why couldn't they add a unstuck button, which is something that got added on later on, right? So like there's so many little things. There were actually gaming sessions that I would do that I wouldn't go past 10 minutes without witnessing a bug. A bug that would actually just like get to my skin, irritate me, and make me not want to play the game. But again, you know, like I said, I love the setting of the game. I like the time frame that is in, right? And the mixture of things that it made. The development team made a nice, cool mixture of everything, right? Like Egyptians on one side, now you have like Romans on the other side, you have like Spanish conquistadors on the corrupted side, and then you have like nature. You have nature, but then you have like undead on one side, right? The drown or something. Then you have Chinese stuff, like cool stuff, you know? So like the game as a whole has a lot of potential, right? Has a lot of potential. And as of now, the reviews of the game are very mixed. Okay, there's, for example, people saying they're making everybody now play the game, and they're expecting everybody to pay the $30 that the game is to play it when the bugs were fixed, you know. And I totally understand where they're coming from, because I felt the same way. This game should have been released as of it is and how it is right now. It should have never been released on the stage that it was in back in 2021. Imagine that mounts didn't even exist. You couldn't even swim. You couldn't even swim. What? Wait. You're playing a pirate game, right? In the 1500s or whatnot, in the 1400s. You're in a ship. You crash into an island. You're surrounded by water, but you cannot swim. That to me was one of the things that irritated me the most, because the guy would actually, like, you will get in the water and all of a sudden the guy will be like this. And then you just sink into the water like a dead potato. That to me was crazy. So as of now, you can swim. Wow. 3 years, 4 years later. And what I mean to say is, this game has come a long way. This game is not the same New World. As a matter of fact, they even changed the name. It's not even New World anymore. It's like New World Aeternum, you know, because like they did the re-release, and it looks great now. It looks great. I was over to my best friend's house, and he plays it in PS5 or something, and it just even runs and looks better than PC, which is another complaint that people have, which is they're neglecting their main player base that's stuck with them for all this time, and they're spending a lot of time trying to regain this new player base. And I'm okay with that. I don't mind that, as long as we get sort of the same treatment, right? Because if you don't, at face value, can take this like as if you just don't care about the PC player base, which is the one that stuck with you all this time, the one that you made the money to begin with. Now, one thing to have in mind, and remember, this is Amazon, right? This is Jeff. You know, from all the bugs that I had back in the day, they seem to be solved. I don't have any complaints so far from my leveling experience. The only thing that I have complained about is the boy gauntlet seems weird. The boy gauntlet, you start fighting against somebody with the boy gauntlet, and all you see is like they're doing like 50 damage. But then your health just keeps going down no matter what. I just always had the feeling that the boy gauntlet needs to have a patch rework, because numbers are just not showing the right way, and it's just simply one of those things that they can just fix and not tell anybody to begin with. But aside from that, I don't have any complaints really. The game has done a 180. The game is not the same game that you played on 2021 or whatnot. The game is way better, has better player retention just because of that. There's a raid that's been added onto the game. There's like, you know, arenas, right? People begged them for arenas for a long time. Now arenas are in the game. OPR, I remember that OPR was so broken. OPR was so broken. You would actually play in OPR, you would build out the doors, right? And you would think that no one would get in. Guess what? People would just still get in. Yeah, you just climb through the walls and just get in. So what was the whole point? What was the whole point of making this nice little bunker? You go out there, you grab the resources, and then some, like, you know, some dick boy comes along just like and just goes in. So they had to fix that. And then OPR was broken in a lot of aspects as well, where, like, you know, you have musket players like on the top of like the moon, and they would like shoot you down like a laser beam. They had to fix that as well. So right now you cannot really get on top of those things because they would just like run away. You couldn't catch them at all. As of now, guys, the game is 10 times better than what it used to be. Gearing is much easier. It's very simple. You get what you wear. If you wear a sword and a hatchet, you will get that. You know, mainly, like, I'm talking about 90. The system is pretty like accurate. Like, it will be like 98%. So like gearing is much easier. Dungeoning is much easier. They do have it looking for dungeon, and it's pretty fast, right? They added in the PvP island. So the game is made way more accessible. Way more accessible. Even if you don't want to go ahead and do dungeons, or if you don't want to do PvE, you should do PvP, and you level up the same way. You get gear for PvP. It just doesn't matter. The question remains, okay? The question remains, is it worth your time? Is New World worth your efforts, your time, your money, and whatnot? And to me, all right, honestly, New World has the potential. Okay, New World has breathtaking visuals, has like unique mechanics, and it has a large world that invites you in. As of now, I would say that yes, 100% to me. I'm playing New World actively. They added a couple of like different weapons, like great sword. They added a blunderbuss, like a shotgun. They added the flail. Who the hell asked for that? You know, people were been asking for like handguns for a long time. It's a pirate game, so you want to have a handgun, you know, but guess what? Flail is what you get. But again, not to deviate from the main point, New World, I would recommend it 100%. It's a fun game. And not only that, New World is, to me, the best monetization system that any company would probably have, which is like you pay once, the game is yours, and you're welcome to come back whenever you want. So anyways, guys, this is my take on it. I think this became a little bit more of a rant, and I just went off script completely because I'm really passionate about this game. I really want this game to succeed, and I just don't want to watch it flop, okay? Because I love that game. I'm a gamer. I want to play good games. I just wouldn't want a game to die, especially sometimes that people talk about like World of Warcraft and stuff. Oh, it's gonna die. World of Warcraft and Call of Duty been dying for years, and they just keep leaving. So I don't want World of Warcraft to die, to be honest. I want it to be like the best game in the world as it was back in the day. I deviated from what I was gonna say, which is play the game. It's fun. It's got good mechanics. It looks good. It's cool. Like it's full of testosterone, right? There's no furries in the game. Thank you all for watching. This is my 2 cents on New World so far. And if you feel the same, comment below. If you feel different, comment below and let me know what's your take. With that being said, like the vid, sub, go ahead and help the algorithm gods. All right, because apes together strong. Okay, like in the beginning, and that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and until the next one. And remember, all right, remember, it is not about life. It is just a bad day. All right. With that being said, Rodri is out.